Three, two, one. Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Monroe Mann here, YouTube #1 live streamer. And first of all, if you're brand new to the channel, I have a PhD in psychology. I'm a Bronze Star nominated Iraq War veteran, two-time TEDx speaker, MBA in finance, an attorney, investor, all that jazz, and musician, comedian. In my channel, we do a little bit of everything from original music to motivation, psychology, law, special guests, and also tonight, I'm going to be talking about investing. And the topic tonight is an interesting investment topic. Hello, Jamie. Good to see you again. Thanks for joining. Is managing finances and investments for an elderly parent or maybe just a dependent. Could be a special needs child or something like that. But so why am I talking about this? Because I am doing that, and I have been for a number of years. I did it for my father before he passed away, and now I'm doing it for my mother. And it is a very difficult thing. I think it's one of the most difficult financial challenges anybody could have. I mean, this is barring that you are a billionaire like Elon Musk or Donald Trump or Michael Bloomberg or whatever. In that situation, you don't really have to worry too much because your financial situation is fine. You could even make some really serious mistakes and you're going to have another $1 million coming in next month. So this is not for you guys, though maybe you could still benefit from this. This is mostly for general situation of how do you manage when maybe there's some money there. It's not millions of dollars, but it's enough, but not necessarily enough to make it completely stress-free and easy, but there's enough to think, okay, if I do this correctly, I can do a good job. Now, the big conflicting questions, and they're kind of on two sides of the same coin, is, what's up, JD? How are you? On one hand, you want to make sure that your elderly parent or your dependent or whatever has a great life. You don't want to be so stingy with the money that person, let's just say, dies in a year and there's hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank and you think, oh my gosh, I was so overly cautious about not losing the money. So I didn't spend any of the money on the person for whom the money is entrusted. That's going to make you feel absolutely terrible. Does anyone else have an echo? Let me know. And on the other hand, you don't want to think, you know what? My parent or my special needs child or whatever could die in a year. Let me spend as much money as possible now to make this person feel, what the heck is that? Hey, you got your 2-month super chat, V. Fantastic, my friend. Great. Congratulations on being a part of the Roman Empire for 2 months. I appreciate that. You know what? I'm going to put that up on the super chat board because, it's technically a super chat, but we're going to do it in a different way. We're going to put it up here. So 30 V, and in this case, it's going to be what? 2 months. Yeah, V, 2 months. It is a super board. You did give a super chat, so you deserve to be on the super board. What I was saying, I love how you used "Hello Monroe." That was your that was the best super chat message you could muster. So on the other hand, you want to make sure. This is what I'm saying. It's such a hard financial thing. It's not just for people who are worried about an elderly parent or a special needs child. This is the same decision that you do for yourself. In other words, we all create or are encouraged to create individual retirement accounts. We all have our 501, 401ks if you work at a company. And the whole idea is, how much of that money should you be saving up for a retirement that may never come? Because people die all the time. Such a sad story. I was just reading that this 21-year-old college kid right down the street here in South Point Park in the beach, in Miami Beach, there was a rip current. I never even thought that there were rip currents going to be here in Miami Beach. And apparently his sister was getting swept out. He ran in to go save her. She got rescued and he drowned and died. And so, like, first of all, very sad story. Be careful when you're swimming. Don't assume that you are a super swimmer. I'm a lifeguard, and now I'm reminded, Monroe, maybe you could die in the ocean here. Be careful. But let's say he had been saving up some money. Well, that money's useless now because he's not here anymore to use it. John Jacobs, when I first got monetized, those type of comments bothered me, but I'm not begging for money. I'm providing a service, and if people want to support the channel, they're welcome to super chat. So, but by the way, thank you for the watch time, John. I appreciate that. And thanks for being here. So, even if you don't have a elderly parent or special needs child, the same mentality is what you need to be thinking about, is finding this it's a very thin line that threads the needle between saving too much money to the point where you're Scrooge McDuck or Ebenezer Scrooge. You're so miserly, you just put all the money in the bank. And great, it gives you an incredible amount of security. And which is super important because you definitely want to save up at least 6 months of living expenses. As many of you know, I've been out of work for 9 months, but I'm doing okay because I practice what I preach, and I've saved up a bunch of money and I've invested well. But you can oversave. But it's almost different from. It's a tougher situation when you're trying to plan investments for your elderly parent or a special needs kid, because in your situation, if I'm saving up all my money, like I've got a bunch of money saved up in investments and this and that, if I die tomorrow, well, I'm dead. It's not like I'm going to be, oh, rats. I should have spent more of that money. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll be up in heaven looking down and going, what a fool I was. I should have spent that money. But I mean, let's just think of this from a temporal point of view. It's not going to bother me if I die tomorrow because I'm dead. However, if your elderly parent or your special needs kid, or even just your normal kid, even if you don't have special needs children, you just have regular children, if one of them dies tomorrow, you're going to have this after action review going, should I have spent more money on that person while that person was alive, or did I do the right thing by now there's 150 or 10,000 or $300,000 still in the bank? It's like, ugh, and you kind of feel guilty because that money could have been used. Why is it a little bit different when it's your elderly parent? Because generally you're managing their money, and it's money that they worked hard for. And it's money that, yeah, you might inherit later. But that's why I'm telling you, it's a very strange emotional thing when you're managing your elderly parents' money, because and me, I'm talking about being the good child and being selfless and not putting yourself as number one. And there are a lot of kids that will say, yes, forget mom and dad, forget mom. I'm just going to give the bare minimum and great, I'm going to inherit all this money. You don't, that's not cool. So I'm assuming you're not that person and you're trying to figure out what's the best way for me to manage this money. So why am I talking about this today? It's because what I'm doing now with my mother. And I'm in a position right now where I'm trying to figure out, again, what to do with a big chunk of change. Where we had an Airbnb in Maine, and we just sold it. It's all done. The money's in the bank, a couple $100,000. And now it's weighing on me. What do I do with this money? And it's basically down to like 4 options right now. But I still don't know, because I'm still weighing this whole idea. What I'm talking about is, I don't want to keep so much money saved up in the bank and then have something happen to my mom tomorrow or in a week, and I go, oh, I should have taken her. We should have used some of that money, and I should have taken her on a trip somewhere. And at the same time, I don't want to be a spendthrift and take her on a trip every month, and at the end of the year, there's no money left. And now she ends up living to be 95 years old. She's 76 now. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I spent all of that money on her in 2025. Now there's nothing left for the next 15 years of her life. I mean, so it's a very stressful thing trying to manage money for an elderly parent if you're trying to do it thinking about the parent number one and you second. And yeah, absolutely. V is right that inflation will destroy savings sitting in the bank account. So, the 4 places that it could best go, I mean, that I'm thinking right now, is buying another long-term rental property. So, we have some property here in Miami Beach that we rent. Let's buy another one. Number 2 is put in the stock market, S&P 500, this and that. Number 3 is just put it into like a CD. The interest rates are about 5% now. It'll basically just keep up with inflation, this and that. Or 4 is maybe find some other investment, which I haven't even looked into yet. I don't know, here, there, another way. I guess the 5th one is spend the money on her. And I'm trying to find a perfect happy medium. My best perfect scenario is to put that money somewhere that keeps up with inflation, that also brings in money to her, but it's also somewhat liquid. I'm leaning towards getting another rental property because it is liquid in the fact that we could get now I know about cash out mortgages, and I know about long-term rental real estate, and we could get a property. It'll bring in income for her, additional income, this and that. But there's that thing called being house rich and cash poor. And that's my biggest fear. Is I do not want to put so much money into real estate that suddenly we need money for my mom and we're stuck because it's all tied up in real estate. And Melissa's here saying investing's the only way. V says got to invest in something. And so part of me chatting here is maybe you guys have some suggestions. And sometimes it's easier to get counsel, even if you're really good at what you do. And I'm really good at investing, and I'm good at managing money and this and that, but I think I'm just so close to this situation that there's something called analysis paralysis. And I've been spending 2 weeks trying to figure out what is the best thing to do. If interest rates for mortgages were back around 2 or 3% again, 100%, it's a no-brainer, would put it into a rental real estate property. But I think the mortgage rates in the USA are still around 6.5, 7%. We're not going to, most of the rent coming in from a tenant is going to go basically just to pay the mortgage, and it's not going to be providing an income for my mom. Part of me is thinking, S&P 500, now that Donald Trump won and the Republicans control both houses of Congress, I'm pretty confident in the United States economy over the next 4 years. So putting some or all of it into the S&P 500 is not a bad idea. It'll keep up and certainly exceed inflation. But I also don't want to put all of that into the stock market. I don't want to really just keep it in a CD getting 5% interest, because that is maybe an idea is maybe putting like half of it into a CD at 5%, maybe putting half of it into the S&P 500, and then waiting until interest rates drop enough that it makes sense to buy a third rental real estate property. Here's the other thing. There's enough money that we could probably buy a rental real estate property for cash, or very close to cash, in the area. In which case, maybe the mortgage wouldn't be an issue, because there wouldn't be a mortgage. And in that case, the amount of income coming in to my mom would be substantial, because we wouldn't have to pay all that money in interest to the bank. So maybe now that I'm talking, by the way, why am I doing this live stream right now? Because sometimes talking out loud helps to solve problems. And thank you very much, Jamie. First super chat of the live stream and of the day. I'm going to add you. I guess no, you're not. It's the second super chat. V gave a super chat before, but it was his 2 months. It was his 2 months member. So let's add another 31 here for Jamie. $4.99. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for your support, Miss Jamie, 31. Thank you for that. Oh, I guess it's not a super chat, it's a super sticker. What I'm trying to talk it out with you, because then maybe I can help find a solution for this. Because there are very few people that I can talk with about this. It always says, "Oh, go to financial advisors." Well, most financial advisors, they focus on one asset class, and that's why whenever people come to me with financial coaching, I talk about all the stuff that I'm talking about now with them, which is don't focus on just one. If you go to like New York Life Insurance Company, one of their agents, they got a bunch of investments, but what are they going to tell you to invest in? The exact things that they know and that they sell. They're not going to tell you put money into real estate. And if you go to a real estate agent or a mortgage broker, they're not going to tell you to invest that money into crypto or into a business. They're going to say, well, of course you should put it into real estate. This is why. So I like to look holistically at everything, and that's my entire investor concept, INVESTOR, which is intellectual property and insurance. N is never touch fund. V is venture capital. E is education. S is the stock market. O is your own business. T is treasury bonds and bills, and the R is real estate. And I have to look at everything like that, because those are all of the different investment options that you can make. So maybe what I'm thinking is I need to look, comparing what an investment into a real estate property paying cash, and what would be it's called a cap rate, capitalization rate in real estate, which is basically how much are you getting that rent roll on a monthly basis, how much is that compared to how much money you put down, the equity that you put up? So what I need to do is basically do, like, as all of you guys know, Melissa mentioned that, V mentioned that, can't just leave it in the bank because inflation will eat away the value of it. I also want to make sure I don't do any investment that's going to lose the money. So it's not going into crypto, and it's not going to be going into starting a restaurant or starting a business. But I do think it's going to be some combination of here's the other thing too. The other option is getting a condo or a house for my mom using that money. Then she won't have to pay rent. And a lot of people go, why the heck is she paying rent if she's got this money? Because we both live in the same apartment building right now. And it makes it very easy for me to go over there and help her to take the dog out, for her to come over and say hi if she needs something, this and that. And if I get her a condo, who knows where that is, how far away it is, this and that. So it kind of in many ways makes sense to have her stay in this apartment. Even though it's going to cost more and more money because the rent keeps going up. But that's the interesting thing. You always hear people saying, you should never rent when you can own. It's not always true. It really depends on the particular situation that you're in. If your only mission is to make the decision based financially, probably you should always own, not rent. Because you're going to be paying less money by buying typically than by renting. But, and then if you need to move away, you can go ahead and perhaps rent it to somebody. But life is not a financial decision. And I think this is what a lot of people don't understand when they're talking about investments. People are so quick to tell you exactly what you want to do with your money. Oh, this is the blah, 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 blah. Remember that life is more than just money. Life is about relationships. Life is about your job. Life is about where you're living. Life is about quality of life. Life is about moving. There's so many variables that even your investments you cannot make only based on the bottom line. Now, some people might say, oh, this kind of sounds like that ESG investing. I think it's ESG, like environment, sustainability, and whatever the G stands for, which turned out to be a big disaster with Blackstone Capital and or BlackRock Capital and all these others, where they, instead of investing to make the highest return on investment, they started investing money into social ventures as well, which ended up reducing the total return on investment. I'm not really talking about that, but it's the personal equivalent of that. You can't make all of your financial decisions in life simply based on rate of financial return. We all make our decisions based on rate of return. And I talk about this in my book, Trust, Trust, where I talk about how to raise money for risky projects. I'll show you that book. If any of you guys are trying to raise money, this is it. It's called Trust. How psychology in a simple 5-letter acronym will help you raise the money you need, recruit the team you want, and engender the support that you crave. And I talk about in that book, by the way, hey Vajeta, good to see you, is that too many people try to get people to invest in their projects by focusing only on financial rate of return. Going, hey, come invest in this thing. You know, this is what the industry average is. It's going to be a 7% rate of return, on a month-to-month basis. or you're going to get a 300% return. Many people don't care about the financial rate of return. As I talked about, the way that I got our main investor to invest money into my film, You Can't Kill Stephen King, was not just the fact that you're going to get your money back and get a return on investment, but will give you a supporting role in the film. That supporting role was ultimately more important to him than the financial rate of return. It's the same thing when I'm dealing here with my mom and her finances and this and that. I'm not just trying to get her the biggest financial return. I'm trying to make sure that I get her the biggest return on investment. And right now, having us very close by in the same apartment building is giving her a great rate of return because she's got her son here right next door helping her. So even though we could buy a condo with this, couple $100,000 for her, it would take her away from me, and she'd be living in a new condo, this and that. I mean, the best case scenario, if I could do it, if I could afford it, would be to go, if there was some way to buy 2 condos at the exact same time that were adjoining in the same building. And that's not in the cards right now, where she could buy a condo and I could buy a condo in the same building, but we have the same apartments. So I'm thinking, okay, fine. Maybe the fact that the rent is going up every month for both of us, maybe that's a price willing to be paid because of the other return on investment that comes from us being so close to one another. So then that goes back to then what are the other alternatives to that, what to do with the money. As I said, is buy a long-term rental property in cash. That avoids the horrible 7% mortgage interest rates. That's a good idea. And I'm actually thinking maybe that's something to look into. But the reason why I don't like that idea is that, boom, she's now house rich with 3 rental condos and becoming cash poor. And we don't know what's going to happen in life. And there is that security right now of, wow, there's a couple of $100,000 in the bank to help her. That disappears as soon as you take that money and you put it into a real estate investment. So, but that's a possibility. The other is to put it in a CD and just kind of leave it there and don't make, haste makes waste. At least it'll sort of keep up with inflation. Third option is to take half of it and put it in the CD, half to put it into the S&P 500. That's a possibility. That's good. And then wait until interest rates come down for mortgages, and then take some of that money that's in the CD and maybe use that to put that as a down payment on a third rental property. Let me look at some of the comments here. Maybe some of you guys have some interesting perspectives on this. Vegeta, so be nice to people. You don't have to say who the F, that's kind of cool. I'm going to get rid of that comment. And, if you're on my channel, you would see that massive numbers of people give me super chats. Jamie, Rob Muller, V, Ava, who else? Big Kev, Manvanth, Nolan, V Pirate. Let's see. We got a new one, Mr. Reboot, Mrs. Reboot. So Jamie's not the only one, but she certainly is a big supporter of the channel, and I am very grateful to count her as one of my big fans and supporters. And I would ask that you please respect her and respect the other people on my channel, and certainly don't belittle people for wanting to support me. Burn Night Priest says, hey there, #1 YouTube live streamer. I believe money is not everything. That is true. It's just a tool. And some people can't use tools properly, sadly. That's true, and that's basically what we're talking about today, is how to use the tool of a few $100,000 that's in the bank to best help an elderly parent, which is what I'm working on doing. And it's a big task. It's a big task to try to figure out how best to do it, to, as I said, to balance giving my mom the best life that she can have. It's her money. I want to make sure that it's used in a way that helps her. At the same time, I don't want to be foolish with it and lavish her with amazing like $500 dinners and let's go out to Fiji. I mean, that would be awesome for me because she can't travel by herself, and uh, basically she would be paying for my airfare and hotel, and I'd get to go on a nice trip somewhere. But her money is not there so that I can go travel. I am here to facilitate travel if she wants to, and we can use her money if necessary. But as I said, if you do that too much, boom, the money's gone in a year. And if she lives to be 95, and I hope she does, that's a big problem. So I'm trying to figure out how to use this money as the best tool possible, and to make the best decision that I can to make sure that her life from now, 3 years from now, financially, is better than it is today, rather than worse. Jamie says, I'm Jamie, and I give super chats because I appreciate his content. Thank you, Jamie. And I give great content because I appreciate fans like you. Plus, there's a dancing lemon involved, and I'm here for it. A dancing lemon? What the heck is a dancing lemon? A dancing lemon? That joke went over my head. They're going to have to try harder than that to offend me. Oh, now Vegeta says, oh, hi, Jamie. Thank you, Vegeta, for being nice. You have to be nice to other people. Life is very difficult. Life is difficult and too short for us to be mean to others. And it's too short, and it's difficult enough without having other people add to that difficulty. Oh, the super sticker was a dancing lemon. Let me see. Oh, look at that dancing lemon. I didn't even see it. So did you get to choose that dancing lemon, Jamie, or did YouTube choose that for you? And yeah, it is dancing, and there's some music there, and it's doing the Trump dance. Did you see that? That little dance, that thing is going like this. Doing the Trump dance. So, based on what I shared here, do you guys have any additional suggestions of the options that I shared? Is there anyone that jumps out and you goes, you know what, I think that makes the most sense? Or I'm certainly not. I know a lot, but I'm human and I don't know everything. And maybe while you guys can tell me what your thoughts are, I'm going to have my guava nectar. Check this out. This guava nectar right here. You'd think that this is going to be really good for you. Ready? Total fat 0, cholesterol 0, sodium 0, carbohydrates 13%. So that's the only thing it's got. Total sugar, 68% daily sugar in this tiny box. Vitamin D 0, calcium 0, iron 0, protein 0, potassium 0. What the heck is in here then? This is 100% nothing. It's just like a box of sugar. Excuse me, I'm going to have my sugar box right now. I honestly think like Hawaiian Punch might be better for me than this thing. Let's see. Jamie says, I don't know a darn thing about investing. Started my 401k when I was told I could because my parents beat it into my head my whole life. That is all. So, you know, what really got me thinking about this ratio of how much do you save and how much do you spend? Like how much do you, if you get $1 million now, how much of that do you put away for a rainy day, for tomorrow, for retirement? How much of that do you spend today to improve your quality of life? It's a tough decision. And it's easier with a million. In this situation I'm in right now, like 200,000, it's not, it's harder because it is less money to play with. But that is the ultimate. There's a book called Die with Zero. I think it's either Die with. There's two of them. One's Die Broke. The other is Die with Zero. I think it's Die with Zero. Is the most recent one. And he talks about something which I really like. He said there's something far more valuable than financial dividends. It's memory dividends. And he said, what creates a full life are your memories. It's not the amount of money you have in the bank. And money is just a tool through which to create. So your financial dividends are what you use to create your memory dividends. And he said, you do not want to die with 100% financial dividends and 0% memory dividends. So it's the same idea here with my mom. I don't want her to die with all these financial dividends. I want her to die with lots and lots of memory dividends. But you don't want to create so many memory dividends in the short term that you run out of money and you've got no more money to create new memory dividends, or worse, you spend all your money now this year so that next year the memory dividends are negative, meaning they're bad memories because of where your financial decisions have taken you. And just think about that. Most people who win the lottery in a year later are more in debt than they were before they won the lottery. This is why many states now prohibit you from getting a lump sum. If you win the lottery, you have to take it in something like 20 annual installments, because they know that people don't know how to manage money and they lose it all. They spend it all within the first year. But they have found that even when they have the 20-year annuity payout, meaning they pay out your $200 million lottery winnings on annual payments of something like $10 million a year, whatever. They find that those people are still more in debt years after. And getting the annual $10 million isn't enough to get them out of their financial problems, because they just spend so much on creating all these memory dividends, so much that they have ruined their future memory dividends. V says, I have trouble telling anyone what to do with their money. Personally, I'll take a 4 to 5% GIC over gambling. What does GIC stand for? Gross income or something? Or no? I don't know what GIC stands for. Never heard of that. Over gambling with anything else. Physical assets right now are good, though. V says Canada's a different story compared to the USA. Is a guaranteed investment certificate the same thing as like a certificate of deposit in the USA? Or I'm not sure. Maybe that's a Canadian thing. I don't know. Or maybe I just have never heard of that financial product. I think it's easier to tell other people what to do with their money, or at least to give them ideas, just because the emotional aspect is not there. It's a lot easier for me to help other people with their finances than it is for me to help my mom in this situation, because it's so fraught with emotion. And I am so about, like, I want to make sure that I make the right decisions. And certainly thinking about that, can't go wrong with just putting the money in a CD making 5%, and like I said, and maybe putting some of that into the S&P 500, especially in the new economy. It's, I mean, even over the 4 year, even through COVID and 4 years under the Harris Biden economy, S&P 500 still skyrocketed, which means under this Trump, Vance, Musk, Ramaswamy, Kennedy administration, I see the S&P 500 doing even better and better over the next 4 years. So maybe I'm thinking that's probably, I think, a good idea, is to split it up between a CD and the S&P 500 while I wait for the mortgage rates to go down. That could be a good short-term solution. And I don't know what Vegeta's talking about here. Yeah, Vegeta, what? No, there's nothing erotic about anything going on in this live stream. V says, guaranteed investment certificate is a low-risk investment that provides a guaranteed rate of return over a fixed period of time. I get my question, though, is does that exist in the United States, or is that something unique to Canada? Oh, it might be something unique to Canada. So in the US, a low-risk investment provides a guaranteed rate of return is like maybe a US Treasury bond, government bonds, or maybe buying a CD, like I said, for like 4 to 5% from the bank for over a period of 12 months. Excuse me. Even though that guava juice box was completely, probably not great for me, it sure was delicious. Oh, it's basically like a treasury bond. Okay. Got it. Yeah, that's the literally the number one, like the thing that would it would be heartbreaking for me if the money, though, is just in the bank or in investments, and something like knock on wood, as they say, something happens to my mom over the next year or 2 years or 3 years, and that money wasn't used. It was just in the bank. And I'm thinking, ugh, it's like she didn't get any benefit. And I was talking with her about this recently, and she goes, but Monroe, it's security. It's good. It's good for me to have money in the bank. And I said, yeah, I know. But at the same time, I mean, you don't want to just be prisoner in your apartment for however many more years that you're alive, don't you? You want to go do some things. So, but you guys see, like, first of all, I hope if you have parents right now, most of you do, but some of you maybe they've already passed away. But if your parents are still alive, really start looking at their finances now and start making sure that, like I said, if I knew what I knew now before my dad died, oh my gosh, I just assumed that my dad had everything all perfectly planned for his demise, and he didn't. And it was thrust on me to fix a lot of financial problems. You may end up being the person who has to step up and solve financial problems for one or both of your parents. My suggestion to you is get involved with them now. and start talking to them and start doing the legal changes that need to happen to make it easier on both of you. You don't want to be in a horribly difficult situation where your life is just going spiraling because you have to care for one parent because the other parent didn't plan correctly and then passes away. And to some degree, that's the situation that I'm in. I'm happy to do it, but if I knew that this was how everything was going to turn out, I would have, when my dad, like 5 or 6 years before my dad died, I would say, hey, look, we need to do this, we need to do that, let's put this into that, let's make sure this is that, this, that, boom, bam, bang. But I didn't, you assume your parents, they're your parents, they know what's going on. Don't assume. Don't assume. And I think you have every right to make a big fuss with them and say, no, don't, this is not, look, this, don't be, what's the word? Don't push this to the side. This is an important discussion we need to have. It's the same discussion if you're married, husband and wife. If you don't know precisely, as Jamie and V know, I was just doing another live stream on the Break Diving channel, and I was doing my continuing legal education to keep my law license, and I was doing a course on anti-money laundering and making sure that you as a lawyer do not get caught up in a money laundering scheme where they're using your law license and your escrow account to funnel drug money through your bank account, and then you end up in prison, lose your law license, big problems. And one of the ways to avoid that is know your customer's customer. That's what he said. He said, if there is a client who's coming on that's a little bit too good to be true, you want to ask and get verifiable proof. Where are all of your clients' companies incorporated? Show where the money that's coming into your bank account got into their bank account. Ask for the wire transfer paper trail. Find out who their customers are. Get actual verifiable proof that the customers they say who are their customers are really their customers. Why? Trust but verify. It's the same thing if you have a spouse. You got to know your spouse's finances. You need to know exactly, does that person have life insurance? My dad was like 35 years older than my mom. My mom's 76. My dad would be like 102 if he were still alive today. So I think like he was 55 and she was in her early 20s when they got married. As soon as that happened, like if I marry a 20-year-old right now, which is sort of about the same age difference, not even, maybe that's not even as much as between my mom and my dad. But I would absolutely get whole life insurance that would have a payoff date so that when I died, and the odds are that I would die before my 20-year-old bride, that I would be able to make sure that my wife can continue living and manage everything and just doesn't go into financial difficulty. My dad only got $25,000 of whole life insurance, and when he died, I found out that he had a cash value loan of $20,000 on the policy. So how much life insurance did my mom get? $5,000. Not great. Not great at all. And if you're married, you guys should have life insurance policies on each other, 100%. If you have kids, this is doubly important that there's life insurance. Life insurance would ensure that I wouldn't be having this conversation with you guys right now. If my dad even had $100,000 of life insurance, I wouldn't be having this conversation. Even if it, and if, gosh, if it were 300,000, wow. Now, right now, I have something like $550,000 of term life with my mom as a beneficiary, and I have about 110,000 in whole life. And if I die, guess what? My mom's got all that money, and I'm very happy for that. And when my mom passes, I might get rid of excuse me, when my student loans are all paid off, I'm going to get rid of all of that. I'm going to keep the whole life. Why? Because one day maybe I will get married, and at least there will be $110,000 that would go to my wife if I die. And if I have kids, well, guess what? We're going to have to keep increasing the amount of life insurance I have. I mean, life insurance, people say that it's not an investment. It's not an investment in the traditional sense that you're going to make off like a bandit. I should do a whole thing on whole life insurance one of these days and explain it all to you. But it is cool because I could take out cash value loans from my whole life policies. I could go buy something. But I digress. The whole life or insurance is an investment, but it's primarily an investment to make sure that the lives of the people you love are not dramatically disrupted when you die. And my dad, God bless him, and he did the best he could, but he really left us in a big lurch, and I'm still trying to get out of it. He could have solved all this with life insurance. So what am I trying to do is I'm trying to help you avoid having to go through what I'm going through right now. Because instead of spending most of my time focusing on my own life and my own investments and this and that, I'm spending most of my time trying to make sure my mom is in good hands. I'm glad to do it. She sacrificed so much for me growing up. She gave me so much of her life, so of course I can give her some of mine. But I wish I didn't have to give her so much of my time and energy. How can you avoid having to do the exact same thing? Make sure you have life insurance for your kids. Have life insurance for your husband or wife. Have life insurance for your parents too. And again, I don't have kids, and I've got a lot of life insurance, and people sometimes find that really weird. They go, you don't have kids, you don't have a family, you don't need life insurance. Yes, I do. I also have brake diving. And let's say my mom dies, and then 5 years later, I die. All my life insurance money, most of it's going to go to brake diving. So you can have life insurance, and then when you die, it's helping to create like an endowment for a not-for-profit or a foundation or something like that, which is also a nice feeling too. It means that even after you die, something about you lives on. Something about you is going to be contributing to the betterment of society. I mean, even if you just go get a $10,000 life insurance policy, there is no not-for-profit that would turn their nose up at getting $10,000. And when you die, $10,000 gets sent to this not-for-profit in your name. They go, whoa, who is this Jamie person? Who is this V? Wow, some Canadian just donated all this money? That's a nice feeling, because that's another thing that's nice, is that the life insurance ensures that even if none of my businesses ever take off like a rocket, and if I never really make a huge mark, I'm still going to make a mark on the world, because the life insurance is going to allow my name to live on. So V says investing is different in Canada. It's a treasury bond, but BOC backed. Good idea to hold some physical gold. Yeah, My mom and I both have gold here and there. I don't keep it in the apartment for obvious reasons, uh, but it is buried 14 paces out the back gate. Turn diagonally 4 degrees until you come to the setting sun. And then find the rabbit that jumps the gun. And therein you will find that X marks the spot that is 4 miles due west of where my gold is buried. Yeah, physical gold and cash. In my acronym investor, that's all comes up under the never touch fund, which is this idea that you want to make sure you have enough money saved up in the bank so that if you lose your job, if your investments go south, whatever, you still got enough. That should be cash in the bank. That should be cash at home. That should be cash in other currencies, Swiss francs, euros, Chinese yen, Japanese yen, Chinese yuan, renminbi, US dollar, maybe the Canadian dollar. I'm not sure how much of a reserve currency it is, though, V. And of course, gold, silver, platinum, and all of those things. My mom has been planning for a demise since I was a child. That sounds so funny, Jamie. Like very, very. It sounds like a tagline for a movie. Her mom has been planning for her demise since she was a child. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Jamie's mother. Yeah, and V says something very smart. Don't put assets in a safety deposit box at a bank. The reason why is you're basically just giving the government a right to seize your assets and prevent you from taking out that money if there's a bank run or if there's a problem. Not good. So Jamie says down to writing some songs to be played at her funeral on the CDs. Wait, who's down to writing? Oh, she's written songs to be played at her funeral. Pretty amazing. Wow, she's really planned that out. Vegeta first hates Jamie. Now Vegeta thinks Jamie is the greatest. V2, adding more cylinders. Oh, that's true. You're V2. You know what? You're never going to be a V8 because I think the next one, you will be a V6 soon. Then you'll be a V12. At 1 year, you will be a V12. I tell you this, when Jamie and V have a 12 next to their name, I'm really curious to see where is this channel? Where is this channel? Let me just do a poll here. Start a poll. Where is this channel in 1 or in 10 months? Let's just see here. 5K subs. Let's see. Okay, let me see. 10. Let's see. 8K. Let's do this one. Let's see, 10, let's do 15K. So, I know this is all just speculation. No one has any idea, but it's fun. 50K, so. Okay. What do you guys think? I know nobody knows, but it's just fun. What you guys think? Let me see. More comments. Yeah, V is adding cylinders. I do like that one. Jamie, don't laugh. Our Monroe Mann is seriously trying to concentrate. I'm listening to you, buddy. V is single, so when I'm ready to go, I'll just head out into the woods somewhere quiet. I'm planning on hanging out to the woods long before I go. You guys are funny. Natural causes. Jamie's investing in my kids so they'll like me enough to take care of me when I'm old and infirm. And you know what's funny? It's like literally that's what happened with me. My two sisters do absolutely nothing. They did nothing to help my father, and they do nothing to help my mom. And I am the one who is um, honored to be able to care for her. So I guess you need 3 kids in order to make sure you got one good apple. Some Canadian. First rule is don't marry, enjoy your life. Bajetta. I'm not married, but I'm not sure how much I enjoy my life. So, can we get a shot of the back gate, please? Says Jamie. Yes, that will give you the starting point to find it. V's Monroe Mann did. She is funny. She is funny. And oh, interesting. So 75% of you say 15,000 subs and 1,000 a month. One of you says 50,000, 4,000 a month. Which one of you said 50,000? That's what I'd like to know. Who of you has such faith in me? Who has massive faith in the Roman Empire? Jamie says, that's why I have a fourth, a spare in case I fail with the rest of them. And that's why, Jamie, I'm super, super worried. Because I can't find any girl who I can stand. And I can't find any girl who really digs me. I can't find like that perfect match. And who can also provide children. And who wants to be a mom. And what if I don't have insurance? I need child insurance too. That was you, Jamie. Hey, thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. Oh, my eyes get dry sometimes. That's why I'm going like. Let me put some eye drops in for a second. Hold on. Eye drops. Where am I? Eye drops. Eye drops. Where are you, my eye drops? I can't believe they're not here, guys. I can't find my eye drop. Oh, I found them. Yes. Eye drops. Yeah, I don't understand it. Like, why is YouTube not sending people? This entire live stream has been nobody but regular viewers. It's so weird. It's so weird. Oh, wow, that was the first time I think in my entire life where the eye drops went into each eye first time. I mean, did you see that? That was very, 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 very impressive. Maximum funny. You want maximum funny. It's 1:15 a.m. I can't give you maximum funny. Now it looks like I've been crying. Now somebody changed his mind or her mind. I sure hope that would. I mean, you know how awesome that would be. 50,000 subs, $4,000 a month. Living large at that point. That would be pretty amazing. So, all right, let me summarize what we've been talking about right now. So, I recommend you read the book Die with Zero. I recommend you download the free PDF that I have here as my top 10 investment myths, which I think are very interesting. I'm going to be sharing the investor acronym on a PDF here soon. It's my investing philosophy. So you'll be able to download that shortly. I'm looking forward to that. And I just want you to think about your investments now and your savings now. Not only as it applies to you, but also think about your parents, think about your kids, You have to find that perfect happy medium between saving money for a rainy day and making sure that you are enjoying your life today. Money is just a tool, as JD said earlier. Money is just a tool. If it's just sitting in the bank, it is providing a purpose while it's there. It's giving you peace of mind. But your money should work for you. And that's why it's more than just a tool. I think of money should be more than a tool. It should be an employee who is using a tool. So, and an employee is somebody who is helping you to make more money. And that's what your money should be. And that's where you have to make sure that you are finding that perfect ratio mix of savings, investing, and using money now to make sure that you don't wake up tomorrow and realize, I can't believe I have all this money in the bank and I didn't do anything with it. You also don't want to wake up tomorrow and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I spent all the money and now I'm in big trouble. And you have to work to find that perfect investment mix. Vegeta, a digging weapon. Okay. Jamie says at least half the ladies will have shaved heads and blue bracelets. Oh, you know what's funny? I saw this woman, who has alopecia, which makes her bald. She did a TikTok video and said, you women need to stop saying that you're going to shave your heads to become unattractive to men. Because you know what? There are a lot of women who have cancer right now. And people like me with alopecia who are just losing their hair. And we are struggling so hard to be beautiful. And you're telling us that we're ugly because we have no other choice but to have hair loss. And I think it's just so silly. Yeah. That whole movement is just supporting the pro-life movement. Because if these women are being abstinent, guess what? That means many more babies are not going to have to go through any procedure. So I find that just very, very funny. Yeah, I saw that video. So anyway, guys, I hope this was of some help to you and just thinking about your parents if they're alive and do your best to try to set up legal and financial solutions today so that when one or both of them passes, it's not a problem. Try to encourage your parents to start getting rid of stuff while they're alive too, because otherwise you're just going to inherit a whole bunch of their knickknacks. And then you have to find either to dispose of it or do this or do that to get rid of it. And just about your own investments, make sure you're enjoying life, but also make sure you're saving up for tomorrow. And best case scenario is you create investments that preserve the principal, but kick off money every month so you can both save for the future and enjoy today. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do for my mom. And I want to find the best way to invest the money so that the principal is preserved in case of an emergency, but it's kicking off money every month that she can just use. Those are the ultimate investments. I mean, just putting money into the stock market, it's not doing anything. It's just sitting there. How much better? This is why I love covered calls. I'll talk about that maybe sometime. I'll do a stream about it. But it keeps the principal contained, and you're making money every 3 days from stocks that you already own. And you can just use that money. So it's pretty cool. Did I see Biden's latest fiasco? The only thing I heard is that he was put in the way back row at the APEC conference or ASEAN conference. Is it something to do with that, Jamie? Give me the rundown real quick. I'm very curious to hear what the latest problem is. Yeah, honestly, I think he could cause a lot of problems in the next 2 months. But I will definitely, I will look into that. You know what's so funny too? I did the live stream in my own voice today, Monroe Mann, because Carly was the one who requested it. And where is Carly? Where is Carly? But it's okay. I had you awesome people here today, and that's all that's important. So now Putin's in a tizzy. I need to look and see what happened. I will look into that. Maybe I'll talk about that tomorrow, once I catch up on everything. Uh, Talking to her fella. Okay, see, I have no idea what you're talking about because it's all over my head. Because I haven't been abreast of the news today. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for watching. I please urge you to go watch some of my videos on my homepage. It is so frustrating that they are stuck at the same view count day after day after day because YouTube doesn't suggest them. None of my fans go and check them out. Oh, Carly's talking to her fella. That's it. Okay, got it. I thought you were saying that Putin was talking to someone's fella or something. I said, this is a really serious international snafu. What did Biden do? Uh, but I appreciate you watching those videos on my homepage. And maybe you can also catch up some of the lives. Anytime you watch any of those videos, I'm getting a penny or two from advertisements. I'm trying so hard. I've never made more than $15 in a month from on the 30-day running total. So I'm hoping I can see that eventually. That would give me a lot of hope too if I could see like that. Oh wow, now it's $15. Oh, now it's $15.50. Oh, now I'm making $16. Now it's $16. I mean, at least seeing that there's some sort of raise happening. How does that happen? How does that happen? Through your help, and share my videos with your friends. Try to get some of your friends to subscribe, and all that jazz. So, yeah, I love Trump. He's the savior of the United States of America, and he's not perfect, but he's perfect for right now. And what's up, Barbara? Great to see you. Sorry, you came right at the end. I got to get to bed. I'm not going to stay up until 4 o'clock like I did last night. And bye, V. Bye, Barbara. Bye, Vergetta. Bye, Jamie. Oh, by the way, Jamie, you have a free super chat every month. So I don't think you've ever used it. V used his earlier. So see if you could figure out how to use that on the next live stream. Bye, Barbara. Bye, V. Bye, Vegeta. Bye, Jamie. Bye, whoever else is here. There are two others here, but I don't know who they are. But appreciate you being here. That's right. Bye, Jamie and friends. Bye, V and friends. Bye, everyone. See you, Barbara. Good night, everybody. Until soon.